Okay, Physics 30s, how's it going? So in this demonstration, I just want to talk about how we can use a laser, a hair, and a whiteboard here to determine the thickness of your hair by using a simple diffraction interference pattern that would cause if I were to put the hair across the laser here. Right now, as you can see, it's just a single dot over here. I could just zoom in there, just one single dot. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a hair across that laser, just across the opening there, so that it would split the beam in two, and the beam would then diffract around the hair and produce an interference pattern over there. Up the laser, you can see that there's a hair over top of the laser entranceway now. It's hard to get kind of focus on there. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Oh, it's kind of hard to focus on that thing because it's so close. But there is a hair that's over top of that, kind of taped it on there. And on this side here, you can kind of see now that it's no longer a single dot, but there's an actual interference pattern with a central antinode here, and there's a couple of nodes on the outside. So let me just turn off the lights here and I'll show you what it looks like from there. Okay, so you can see that with the lights off, you can see lots and lots of different antinodes here. Central bright node. And on either side, you see antinodes, dark spots, antinode, node, antinode, node, all these dark interference patterns, bright spot, dark spot interference pattern all the way down on either side. So quite a bit. And all that just caused by a single hair on the entranceway of the laser, which for some reason I can't focus on properly, no matter how many times I click on the screen. All right, so I'm just going to turn back on the lights and I'm going to talk about what we can do with this lab. All right, so this activity that you could do in your classroom or even in your house as well, it's just a simple activity to measure the thickness of your hair. So there's a few things that we can measure from this diagram or from this apparatus here. We can measure the distance from the laser to the screen. So that would be the distance L in our formula. We can also measure, if I zoom into here, I can measure the distances from the central antinode to some of the first nodes on either side, or the second node on either side, or the third node on either side. So I can measure a few different X values there. And from the L and the X, I could determine the angle from the central antinode to each one of those antinodes that we measured. Using the angle and the laser, excuse me, sorry, and the laser wavelength that's actually just given to us on the laser itself. For some reason, I can't focus on it as well, but it is there on the caution symbol. Using those two things, I should be able to calculate the distance between the slits, which is just essentially just the distance or the thickness of my hair at the end of that laser. So I can use that information to solve for the thickness of your hair. See you in the next video.